Good morning, Deborah Smith with DD Logistics. Hope you're having an amazing weekend. It is currently Saturday in Buffalo, New York, and the last video that I shared with you guys, I told you that I would give you two effective websites that would help you with vetting your carriers and limiting broker and carrier fraud. So I'm going to share those two websites with you today. These are not your end all be all, but they will help you maintain a relationship with your current customer. When you're vetting your carriers, you need to know everything that has been going on with them in the last year to 5 years. How many times has a tire went flat? You need to check their COI. Does their information match what they submitted on the FMCSA website, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration? That is how you apply to put a truck on the road or become an active broker within the industry. So this website here in Google, you're going to type, safer.fmcsa.gov. When you're vetting a carrier, this is your number one tool that you're going to go to. So I will share this with you first under the company snapshot tab. You can type in an MC number. That's usually an over-the-road carrier. A US DOT number, that carrier is 9 times out of 10 local. That's mostly what you're going to use the US DOT for, or the name. So the carrier that I'm going to search is one of the best carriers that I have in Florida. He is a local driver. So I typed in the name of his company. Usually I would use MC, but you can use name as well. So I'm going to hit search, K&A Quality Transport Services LLC. I know he's based out of Tampa, Florida. So once I click that, now when you come to this website, there are multiple things that you're going to look for that are going to match. A carrier will send you will send a carrier packet. Everything that is in that carrier packet needs to match what we see here. So we know it's company snapshot on K&A Quality. We know that this is their DOT number. So you're going to scroll down a little bit, and all this information is so important to you while you're vetting a carrier. Pay attention to everything that you see here. First of all, the entity type. It's telling us that they are a carrier. It also tells us their operating status is active. If that says that they are not active, immediately within my brokerage, how I do things, I would not work with this carrier. They are not active with the FMCSA, which means it can be a high possibility of fraud. So if that doesn't say active, I would not move forward with that carrier. It's going to tell you the legal name of their company, and it's also going to tell you their physical address. When I send them a carrier packet and that carrier packet comes back, this information needs to match. There is a lot of issues with addresses not matching what the carrier is sending you in your packet. If addresses do not match or addresses have been changed often, that is a red flag, okay? We can even look up this address if we wanted to. Phone number is a big thing as well. What phone number did they call from? I know the owner of KA Quality, Josh. He's a local Florida operator. I know that this is his phone number because when I book loads with him, he calls from this number. His mailing address is also the same as what you see here. It tells me his US DOT number. And now if you notice, he does not have an MC number. That is because he is a local carrier only. He is not an over-the-road driver. That is why it's not reflecting an MC number. If it was an over-the-road driver, you would see an MC number. So even if you only learn one thing from this video, US DOT is local. He's a local Florida driver. That's why he doesn't have an MC. How many power units does he have? 3. And when was his MCS 150 form date? His most updated one was in June, July of 2023. Now, if any of this information is off, feel free to call the carrier and discuss that with them. Keep communication open. Why, you can ask, why is your physical address different than your mailing address? Why do you only have a US DOT number and not an MC? Talk to these carriers. This is not the end all be all. It's telling me he has 3 drivers. And what I like right here, it tells you the amount of mileage that they have drove in 1 year. So KA Quality has driven over 40,000 miles, and that's not a lot, but it is for a local carrier who only moves freight through the state of Florida. He takes short hauls, and I know that based off the relationship that we have. It's also going to tell you the operation classification, authority for hire, what kind of carrier is he? He's an interstate, intrastate. Intrastate means local, interstate means over the road. Okay, and that'll be on an application for a broker or a carrier if you ever decide to step into the industry. That's the difference. Intra is local, inter is over the road. So he's an intrastate only, non-HM stands for hazmat. So he does not run hazmat, and he's only local. He runs general freight, and that's why I love this website. You can come here and you can see everything that you need to see before vetting this carrier. Before working with this carrier, it's extremely important to know what is going on. So right here you have the national average. You have your inspections, which are extremely important. Inspections in this industry make your carrier real. Are they getting stopped by the DOT, and how many times? What are they getting stopped for? Why are they getting stopped? And what was the result? Okay, out of service. This means that a driver was pulled over, and whatever the issue was at the time, the DOT inspection officer pulled them out of service. Okay, they can no longer drive that truck or operate. Right now, the national average as of 1/26/24 is 22.26. A local carrier will have less inspections than an over-the-road truck driver. Okay, so keep that in mind. Vehicles have no inspections, but drivers do. And we can see that more with the second platform that we're going to use, the SMS system. He had 5 inspections on a driver, 2 were put out of service. That put him at 40% on the driver. Now the national average is 6.67, but he is a local carrier. Okay, and we have multiple conversations, and I understand his operations. We talk frequently. Not a lot of things change, and I know the situation with these 2 drivers, exactly what happened based off of just having a conversation with the owner of this company. This is another one, crashes. If I see any carrier that has a fatal, there's a number here. I don't care how big that company is. I don't care how much revenue they make. I will not work with that carrier. If I see that there was a situation where you were on the road and there was a death that was involved, I will not build a relationship with you. I just won't use you, period. Okay, that is very important to me. If you have drivers out there and they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, they're not, and I understand mistakes happen, but I would never put myself in a situation with a customer, potential customer, a customer I already have a relationship with, where there was a fatal accident with a carrier. I will not put you on that load. Injury is something different. Things happen. Tows, they happen all the time. Trucks get towed left and right. So if I see tows here, that's not an end all be all, and neither is injury. But if I see fatal, I will not work with you. So this is the one that, this is the first one. This is the Safer FMCSA website. And sometimes here it'll tell you the review information for the carrier safety rating. We can look more at that with the safety measurement that we have up here. I'm going to take you to the next one. So when you're using this, make sure that everything is matching and you're looking to see that everything matches and what kind of carrier are they active. Active is extremely important. Sometimes you'll see here it'll say 1. Call the carrier and say, why does the FMCSA Company snapshot tell me that you've only driven 1 mile since 2022? What is that about? And they will explain to you. Oh, we haven't updated anything. They'll have an answer, but just do your due diligence to talk to that carrier to understand them better. That can be the beginning of a relationship, okay? So the first one is the company snapshot. Now I'm going to give you number 2. Number 2 is way more in detail, and number 2 is my favorite. Number 2 is the SMS Safety Measurement System. That's what you're going to type into your search bar on Google. Now, I'm actually going to go back and grab KA Quality's USDOT number, because you need that in order to search them on the SMS website. So I can see his USDOT number is here. What I'll do is copy and paste, and then I'll take it over to the SMS website. Safety Measurement System is what that stands for. Okay. So here, we're going to do a quick search. It's asking me to enter the carrier's name or USDOT number. I feel the USDOT number has worked much better than actually using the carrier's name. So I'll paste what we took from the company snapshot, and I will put it here. Now what that's going to do, this is my favorite website. This goes so deep into detail about the carrier. Safety Measurement System, USDOT. Now, if you look here, it's going to give us all the information that it gave us on the company snapshot. Number of inspections, 5. That matches. Number of drivers and vehicles match. The address also matches, along with the DOT number. Okay, that's extremely important. But please remember, this is not the end-all be-all when you're hiring a carrier. This is for you to make the decision how you want to move forward with the carrier, but it'll tell you everything that you need to know. And it will help you understand better. Okay, so there's a couple things you can look for. Unsafe driving, hours of service, vehicle maintenance, controlled substance, driver fitness. I don't look at hazmat. I specialize in food. So a lot of the time, I only use about 4 to 5 of these icons that you see. So we'll start with unsafe driving. So you're going to click that, and it's going to tell you everything that you need to know, okay, based on a scale, carrier measure over time. The graph displays a carrier's measure based on 24 months of on-road performance. Okay, 0 indicates the best performance to see how the measure is calculated. So now you're going to see a violation summary here. Unsafe driving violation, it's going to tell me where and why. Okay, failure to obey traffic control device. Violation 1, he did not go out of service. OOS is out of service. He did not get put out of service for this. The violation severity weight was 5. He had an inspection as well. It tells me when, October 25th, 2022. It gives me the plate number, or it gives me the number from the DOT on the report. The state is Florida. Like I said, he is local, so that's something you want to look at. His plate number, severity of weight, the time, and the total weight. But what you can do is you can actually click on the number, and now it's going to go into more detail. There was a report number. It tells you the state, the date. The DOT pulled him over at 1:55 in the afternoon. The end time was 2:33 in the afternoon. Level was driver only. It happened on the roadside. Sometimes it can happen at the facility. Sometimes it can happen in other places. Was there a post-crash inspection or a hazmat placard required? No, because KA Quality does not move hazmat. It tells you right here, was the driver out of service? No, yes. Failure to obey traffic control device for unsafe driving. And there was another issue during this inspection. Driver failing to retain previous 7-day records of duty status. Included in the SMS, yes. Basic hour of service compliance. There's a certain amount of time that a truck can be on the road. Okay, if you're not following your logs and everything you need to follow for your hours of service, you are going to get hit for that. So it tells us everything we need to know, even the VIN that's on the truck. Okay, now if I see a carrier and they're pulled over multiple times for the same issues, to me, they just don't care. They're not interested in getting better over time. If you see the same hits over and over again, that is not good. One that I always look at is controlled substances and alcohol. I know KA Quality doesn't have any. If I see controlled substances and alcohol, I know it's not the end all be all, but I will not work with a carrier. If this is an issue, if there's one, I might give you a call and say, hey, what's going on? Why do you have a drug and alcohol hit on your, why do you have a drug and alcohol hit on your file? And they'll tell me, well, we had issues with hiring drivers. One of the drivers that we hired had liquor or drugs at a facility, or when he was pulled over by DOT. One, okay. But if I see multiples, I will not work with a carrier who is out here on the roads. You can potentially hurt someone. You can hurt yourself, and it is not safe. That's why this is called the safety measurement system. How safe are you being on the road, on the interstate or interstate? You're driving a 53-foot reefer dry van, that is what I specialize in, that can be loaded up to 40,000 pounds. If you put a controlled substance and alcohol in the picture, you can hurt somebody or you can hurt yourself. I will not tarnish my relationship with a customer based off of the fact that a carrier has controlled substance abuse. Just keep it moving. I would keep it moving. That is me. That is how I operate DD Logistics. Everybody will do things differently. If you decide to work with a carrier that has these issues, that is on you, okay? Another thing I look at is driver fitness. What was he pulled over for? I've seen DOT pull over carriers for not speaking English properly. I'm never gonna not work with a carrier because he can't speak English, okay? If you can't speak English, but you do good work, it's a blessing. I've seen so many different issues. Drivers don't have their medical cards. I've even seen a driver hit with driver fitness issues for not having their glasses. Okay? So I always look at these two are extremely important, especially this one, driver fitness as well. Vehicle maintenance, that's going to show you over time all the vehicle maintenance that he's had. How many times has he had? You know what? I'm going to look up a different carrier so I can show you how this looks, because K&A Quality is local. So I'll show you here. Okay, this is a different company. So it'll show you the vehicle maintenance violations. It's showing you why. This is extremely important. Brake hose or tubing, chafing, or kinking connection to the power units. If they keep having the same issues over and over, that can potentially ruin things with your customer. You don't want to work with a carrier who has multiple hits over time for the same thing. Clamp or roto type brake. This is what the DOT is pulling them over for, and they're making it known. Fuel tank filled pipe cap missing. Weight carried exceeds tire load limit. That's a big one right there. Tires can only handle so much pressure with loading your trailer. Inoperable required lamp. That's a brake light or a signal light is out. Some of these have been put out of service. This one, failing to secure cargo as specified. That's extremely dangerous. Would you want to work with a carrier that does not secure cargo as specified? That is not a good look for your company. If you make that call to your customer and you tell your customer, hey, we lost a trailer on the I-90 in Buffalo, New York, there is going to be an issue, and that customer is not going to work with you anymore. And on top of that, you can hurt people and you can hurt yourself. So failing to secure cargo as specified, the carrier needs to learn from that, but it's not the end all be all, but you need to look at that. That's extremely important, okay? Inspections. Inspections make a carrier real. And we talk about this in the industry all the time, okay? An inspection shows that these trucks are on the road, okay? because DOT cannot pull over a truck that does not exist. So let's look. The most recent one was October 23rd, 2023. The state plate was Arizona. Plate number, plate state, the type of vehicle, severity, time, and total weight. So let's look at why. The violation was a fuel tank fill pipe cap missing. So the cap to the fuel was missing. Brake hose or tubing chafing or kinking. That put that truck out of service. The DOT took that truck off the road, made him sit to the side, and that truck can no longer drive. That is what out of service means. Okay? What if that was to happen while your load for your customer was in that trailer? Okay? Things happen. I completely understand. But what if your customer's freight was in that trailer? It's all about how you handle things. Now you have to call that customer because you did not, if you look at this after hiring a carrier and you let them pick up that freight and you didn't do this ahead of time, there's potential to lose that customer. Okay? Let's look at another one. September 13th, 23. Failure to secure cargo as specified. We talked about that one. That took them out of service as well. That pulled them out of service off the road because that was not secure. I would hate to call my customer and say, hey, we lost that trailer on the highway because I didn't do what I was supposed to do before time. Okay, I didn't vet the carrier properly. Because he wanted a low rate, I just said, okay, go ahead. Take the freight, do what you want to do with it. I didn't look into anything that he's doing on the interstate. I didn't look at any of his credentials. That is on you. It is up to you as a broker to do your job when you're hiring these carriers, okay? Let's look at another one. And this is so important for you guys to understand and to use. See, another one that I look at, and look at how many inspections they have. 59. That's a lot of inspections. That tells me that this carrier is real. Okay? Over time. One was recent, the beginning of the year. Happened in Ohio. Plate state was Ohio. So let's take a look at what happened. Now I've worked with this company before. This is a very good company. I just switched the company because the other one, K&A Quality, wasn't reflecting any inspections, and I wanted you guys to see that. There was no violations in this pullover, telling you where it happened, roadside, driver, when it happened, plate number, truck and tractor, the make of the truck. So it's telling you everything you need to know. But there was no violations with this pullover, which is a good thing. Let's look at this one. No violations here as well. This is a really good company to work with. They're based out of Rochester. State vehicle registration or license plate violation. So they were pulled over for that, but that was back in, that was recently, 1/26/24. So you can see here, it's telling you, this is an in-depth look at what you need to know about a carrier before you decide to work with them. Don't just send over the rate con and say, here you go, let's do business together. Okay, that is not a good look. Ahead of time, you need to be vetting these carriers so you do not get in the situation of broker fraud, carrier fraud. You do not want to wrap yourself up into that, okay? So I wanted to share that with you today. I wanted it to be about a 10-15 minute video. It did go a little bit over, but utilize these, please, before you hire a carrier. Safety measurement system and the FMCSA Company snapshot, okay? Those are extremely important in how you keep and hold a customer. Do not just give your freight to any carrier without looking into them. And I'll also give you a bonus as well. Cassandra Gaines, you can look her up on LinkedIn. She's a transportation attorney. I think that's right. She has a new platform. This is a bonus called Carrier Assure. I really like this platform. I do not subscribe or pay for this service, but there is a way that you can look into broker or carrier fraud. So this is her platform. I can't see any of this because I don't subscribe, but it rates the carrier based on an A through D score. I believe an A through F. And it tells you everything you need to know about that carrier. An F, you shouldn't work with them. An A, they're good. A B, they're good. So she rates them based on what's going on in the industry and with their company. And like I said, I don't pay for this. I don't pay for this service, but it is a bonus. So let's type in the authentication code that we need. And then let's take a look. So you can look up MC or you can look up DOT. So we'll use the one from K&A Quality. But so it's telling me the carrier score is only available to premium users. Like I said, I don't pay for this platform, excuse me. But right here, suspect carrier reports. If somebody is in a fraud situation or they're in a situation where there was a hostage load, the freight was stolen, and it will reflect right here. It will say 1 or 2. You can click on that, and when you click on that, let me see if I can look up this one company that actually popped up. They had a violation for, okay, let's take a look. I will show you a carrier that actually was hit and how you can look. And it also gives you the option to report a carrier. And everybody in the industry can see this that uses this platform, so it keeps you aware. I believe they were from, oh, no, you know what? They were from Illinois. All right, come on. Yeah, so let's look here. Okay, so what it's telling you here is you can see there's one red. Somebody reported a suspect carrier report. That's why it's important to have these platforms. We can view the report, and basically, I believe what it told me was, okay, right here, when you have time, check this out. This is a report on a carrier. It happened May 16th, 2023. Be careful of the phone number and the exact email address used by the entity reaching out to you. So somebody's keeping us informed within a carrier sure that you need to double check the things that are going on with this carrier. Then something else happened. It looks like the Jeep Transport actually responded. They have the truck, they have the option to respond. Jeep Transport replies to the report and says somebody was trying to book loads under Jeep Transport MC and name. However, after review, it was determined that Jeep Transport has nothing to do with that booking. So they had the opportunity to respond, but they're telling you to be careful. All our emails have ending jeeptransport.com, not Jeep Transports with an S.com. So if you look at that beforehand, you can tell right away if there's any fraud. Okay, if you get an email from a carrier and it does not say jeeptransport.com and it says Jeep Transports with an S, most likely you're in a fraud situation. Okay, please, before booking the loads, verify our identity. And that's coming from the carrier, the actual carrier. So I'm happy I got to share this with you guys today. Look up this information. Use it to your best of ability. Okay? And please remember to live, laugh, load. Talk soon.